Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500 and welcome back to F-Abarth, Project F-Abarth. Today is back end Tuesday, or rear end Tuesday, however you like to call it. We're going to try and get the rear end done, so I'm going to need to get off that, I was going to say fake F-Abarth exhaust, not the fake one, get the Abarth exhaust off, get the new one on and sort out the back bumper along with parking sensors, so let's get on with it. So a bit of I discovered on this video that you're about to see that a lot of the sound hasn't worked for some reason. I obviously didn't have my wireless microphone switched on properly, so there's a lot of time lapse which obviously hasn't got sound anyway, but there's also quite a bit of me doing stuff which also has not got any sound, so I'll try and narrate some sound over the top of it as much as I can, but yeah, unfortunately there is a lack of sound on this video, so enjoy it anyway, but yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so it's a bit difficult for me to try and work out what's being what's being said here. But basically, I'm looking at the exhaust pipe, and I'm trying to decide here how the best way of getting this off, because I'm thinking that is it going to be really difficult to get off where the joint is. It's got the bracket on there, as we know, but the bracket are often rusted. And I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get it off or not. I've got some hangers. I bought the new hangers. So there's two hangers actually in the new pack. I was under the impression that there was only one, but it's actually two hangers on the new exhaust pipe, which you'll see in a bit. So yeah, I'm going to climb underneath in a second, and we're going to get on with it. So it came off quite easy actually. I had a bit of trouble with the spanners, trying to get a spanner on it, trying to get that bracket undone. I'm showing you underneath now what it looked like, and there you go. You can see there's lots of gun gum that was around it that I managed to get off. But that bracket, I was trying different spanners on it, and they just would not budge. I heated it up and basically burnt the gun gum that was around it, and then I decided let's have a go with me my electric wrench, and it did it. It came off really easy, and then I just sort of wiggled it from side to side and it managed to come off. It got to the point, which you'll see in a second, where I was actually contemplating cracking the nut, because I just could not get those two nuts undone. I suppose what with the heat and with the gun gum on there, I cleared some of the gun gum before I burnt it off, but they just would not budge. But yeah, we done it in the end, and as you can see there's a nut splitter there, and I even thought about using that to do it, but it came off using that, as I'm showing you now. Yeah, not much more I can say really. So here's the new one. As you can see, it's got the chrome tip on it, and that was a little bit bent over, so I had to get a pair of pliers on that and bend that back. And what I did is I'll probably, whether I don't know if I'll show you or not in a second, but I had some lithium grease, and I thought if it's going to be a tight fit, I'm going to give it half a chance by putting some lithium grease on it. So once I'd straightened up that perforated piece, I greased both ends, but it actually slipped on really easy. And once it slipped on, it was just a matter of doing up the bolt. Yeah, so it was quite easy. So that was 30 quid, that exhaust. Obviously it's not a genuine one. That was 30 quid on eBay plus a £10 delivery, and it came next day. I was a bit concerned, which you'll see in a bit, whether it was in the right position or not, but it seemed to work okay. So that was it on before I put the hangers on. So it looked straight, it went on really well, and as I say, I got the two hangers, which are, I think, generic hangers. I don't think they're specifically for this car, but they were actually, because the thing was loose, it was obviously really easy. So I slipped them over the two tabs on the exhaust, and then they slipped onto the ones on the car really easy. Now, to me, it looks a little bit as if there's too much movement in it. I went and had a look at Loopy Harold, and that one doesn't move at all. But there's a little bit too much movement on this one, so I'm not sure that whether those hangers are really the right ones. But we'll see once we're moving it, driving it around a bit. We'll see if it moves around too much, and I might have to do something else. But it just didn't seem quite right to me. Now, this was the new one that I put on, 60mm. So before I bought these ones, when I had to replace one, I think it was on Project Dirt, I measured the exhaust pipe, and I measured it as 45mm or 40mm or something, and that's what I bought. And it was way out, and they didn't fit. So I came to the conclusion in the end it was the 60mm. So I keep a couple of them in stock just in case I ever need them, because I have had the cars where it's been completely missing. So which was what happened with Project Dirt. So yeah, so they're 60mm. They come in packs of 2 from Amazon. I think it's about like 10 quid, something like that. So that's the one. I didn't use any gun gum because I couldn't find it. It's again something else that's disappeared in the garage. But I've started the engine up and it all seems to be working properly. There doesn't seem to be any gases leaking. So hopefully it's done the trick. But yeah, so that's the clamp. So as you can see here, there was a bit too much wobble from side to side. So I'm not really sure about whether that's enough, as I mentioned previously. So under here, we'll take you underneath now and have a look. So this is the clamp. Now, as you can see, that bit just above where I'm not sure if I point to it, but that bit by the heat shield, I'm not sure whether that's too close to the heat shield and whether that's with side to side movement, whether that's going to hit that or not. Hopefully not, but like I said, I'm pointing to it now. So I'm hoping it doesn't, but if it does, then I'll have to move it. We'll have to get some new hangers on there, which allows for less movement side to side. But as you can see, see the white stuff there is the lithium grease that I put on, but that will obviously just burn off. But yeah, so it fitted quite nicely, quite an easy job. So there's a bit of chrome that goes onto the back bumper, so I'm just giving it a clean up here. There's a couple of broken tabs on it, so I put some sticky stuff on it. It's basically the double-sided tape that you use to stick on different pieces of body. What do you call it? You know, body trim. It's a strong double-sided tape, so I just put a little bit of that around a couple of the edges, but basically just gave it a clean up here. So that's the new wing on, which I'm really pleased with. The colour is absolutely spot on, absolutely spot on. It's brilliant, an absolutely brilliant match. Literally identical. You cannot, even though this is dirty, it is, yeah, it's spot on, absolutely 100%. It looks spot on through the camera and it looks spot on in real life. You would never know. Needs a little bit of adjustment. Just here there's a bit too much of a gap, so I have tried to adjust it a little bit, but it needs adjusting a bit more, which is a nuisance. I think yeah, the gap's not quite right there, it's got to move forward, so we'll have to remove that and have a little fiddle with it, but yeah, it's not too bad. But yeah, I'm pleased with that. I didn't want to do any further adjustment until such time as I put the bumper on, which I'm going to do. I'm not going to put the bumper on now. I will put it on temporarily, but I'm still waiting for the condenser to come before I do that. So hopefully that will come tomorrow, and then we can get that on tomorrow. We need to sort out the where the radiator fan is rubbing as well. So either by putting a new radiator on, or just moving, I don't know, it's rubbing slightly on it. I don't know where exactly, until I fathom out what's causing it to rub. Depicts whether I need to put a new radiator on or not. I don't think I will have to, because it is literally just touching the fins, I think, which obviously when it's going it will cause a problem. The fan is free running itself, as you saw in a previous video. I did change it and it's still the same. So, and the fan itself is free running. It's only when it's bolted into position that it's catching. So we need a little bit of investigation on there. So what we'll do is we'll tighten up these bolts properly so the panel doesn't drop. We'll take out the bottom bolts, put those bolts back, take off the bottom bar, put those bolts back again so it doesn't drop, and then we'll undo the 2 bolts at the bottom of the radiator support, and then we'll tilt the radiator out and yeah, put it back. I think we'll probably take off the condenser first, because that will let us see the shape. Going by how I had to bend that condenser back, I imagine that the radiator, although it's not marked, I imagine that's bent back somehow. So it's going to be absolutely minuscule, so I don't think there's going to be any need to change it. It's just to stop it from rubbing. But that will be a job for tomorrow, which will come in this video, and then we'll be virtually done. I'm just going to change that headlight. I've got a brand new headlight over there. As soon as I put a new headlight that side, it shows that that's not a new headlight. So just for the sake of putting a headlight in, I'm gonna change it. Backs, as you know, is all done, which was in the last video. Unfortunately, the sound was a bit of an issue with that last video, which is a bit of a nuisance, but you could see what I was doing even if you couldn't hear me. Yeah, I'm going to give it a clean now. Actually, I might put all the bits on the bumper and just offer the bumper up. I've got a bracket missing down here. I've got to see if I can find one. I've got a feeling I haven't got one. I might have to buy some. I was hoping to take it off the one that was on there, but that one's broken, so I can't use that one. And I know I've got one in the boot of Henrietta, but they'll be using that one at the body shop when they put the new wing on that. So I'm going to have a look around, but I'm pretty sure I haven't got one, which is really a nuisance. Never mind. We'll just have to order one, and it will just delay by a couple of days getting this finished and getting the bumper on. So I'm going to get the bumper out now, the new bumper, and then start putting all the trim on it. Right, that's the end of the day today. I will be doing more in tomorrow's video, which will be on here, but that's a good effort on the front. So we got trims. Those trims have got to be glued on from the other side. The badge has got to be done up properly. I just wanted to get it in place. DRLs are all in, not wired up, but they're in. Obviously all the grills on, all the chrome trim. If you ever come to put those chrome trims on and you try and sort of insert them in, it ain't going to happen. You really have to bash them. That's the only way to get them in. You have to bash them. So if you're ever struggling to get them in and you can't just push them in, don't, just bash them and they'll go in. There is literally no other way of getting them in. So as you can see there, I don't know if you can see there, the bonnet is very slightly different to the bumper, but I'm hoping when that polishes up, it's still got all this sap over it. At different angles it's not quite so different, but it is quite clearly different. But the wing, looking down the side, the wing looks cracking. But what I'll do is I'll machine polish that bonnet, and hopefully we can bring the blue back a bit so it'll match. Obviously we've had a new wing, so, but yeah, at the moment it depending on what angle you go, yeah, so at that angle you can't see it, you can't see the difference. But yeah, it's that metallic colour, isn't it? It's got the flecks in it, so it varies, but I mean, it's great. It's still a good match for definite. It was never ever going to be perfect, I don't suppose, when you're painting to code. I mean, don't forget, it's assuming this car's never been touched paint wise, which I think it probably has because it's in such good condition. That bonnet is 10 or 11, 12 years old even. Who knows when that bonnet was actually painted? The car's what, 10 or 11 years old. Could be up to 12 years since that bonnet was actually physically painted. So it's going to have faded, so I'm not going to go cutting it back as such, but I'm going to, when I say cutting it back, I'm talking about wet sanding it and polishing it. I'm not going to go to that extent, but I'm going to clean it tomorrow and clean it to within an inch of its life, and then I'm going to machine polish it and use cutting compound on it and cut it back and machine polish with some good quality stuff, and hopefully we can get it a bit closer to the new. It will blend in, I'm sure it will. But the back is spot on. It sticks out a little. Oh yeah, of course I haven't put the bolts in those yet, have I? Oh, I forgot to do that, didn't I? Oh, I put the wheels on and I forgot to do those screws up. That's a nuisance. Never mind. I'm just going to put the front number plate on. Oh, it's really annoying that I did that. I changed those wheels and I didn't do those bolts up. You can do it without them, but it's a lot easier when the wheels off. I'm not going to bother taking the wheels off. So it's got the black wheels on, as you can see. They're nice and shiny. The only thing that lets them down slightly is the centre caps. I might see if I've got some better quality centre caps, but they've got good tyres all round, and I think it looks much better. Obviously don't go by that gap there, there's no bracket on there still, and I just thought I hadn't got one, but oh, it's not there. The wing that I had delivered today, a red wing, which I was intending to put on Henrietta, which I'm not now. I'm hoping that's got one on it because that's a passenger side. So if that's a good passenger side one, sorry, if it's not a broken one and it's got one on there, then I can put it on. Otherwise I'll have to order one. So I'm going to unwrap that now and see if it's got one on, and then we can take it off tomorrow and get that on, and then we can get the front of this finished, apart from the radiators and what have you, because I've got to do that tomorrow. But then if I can get that finished tomorrow, if that condenser comes tomorrow, I can get that on. I can sort out the radiator rubbing problem, fan rubbing problem, and then we'll be done on this pretty much, apart from cleaning the seats, which I would like to do tomorrow, because it's going to be a hot sunny day like it's been today, and it'll give it a good chance to dry off. So fingers crossed. So yeah, we'll be back in the morning anyway. Morning, welcome back. It's the next day. Car's still dirty, obviously. I never did get around to washing it yesterday. It's really sticky and nasty with the sap from that tree. Okay, so today I've just had another quick look on eBay at steering wheels, and there are no cream steering wheels. The only one that's on there is one that's 90 with an airbag, which is £90 or £95, and I'm not doing that. So I was looking at the seats. I had intended to do the seats today, but they don't really need a clean, to be honest. They don't really need much of a clean. There's just a couple of little marks on it. It's the door cards more than anything. It's yeah, they're dirty. So I think what I'll do is, rather than getting the cleaning machine out, I'll just use, I'm going to try the I've got some G101. I might try some of that, see how that does it, or use the elbow grease, because they are really grubby, both sides. So I need to get those done up, which I stupidly forgot to do when I had the wheel off yesterday. I also need to do a new badge. I've got to put a new badge on. I've also, that is solid. That handle doesn't move at all, absolutely completely solid. So I'm hoping I've got one that works, or whether I can repair that one.
So I'll take it off and have a look at it and see if it's anything to do with those the little rods that move out. What else? Jobs for today. So yeah, did I mention I was going to do the steering wheel? Yeah, no, I mentioned about the steering wheel. What I'm going to do for now, I'm going to take the one off Loopy Harold and swap it over, and then I can get the airbag back on and get this one finished, rather than spending the time at the moment. I am good, as you know, I bought that sew up thing cover, which I am going to try just because I want to try it, but for the time being I can just I want to get this one done, so I'm just going to swap it over. It makes sense to do that. It's funny, there's normally loads of steering wheels on eBay for decent prices, you know, 30, 20, 30, 40 quid, but there's nothing. Also going to take the bracket on, going to unpack the new red wing that I've got and see if it's got a bracket on it. I'll do that sooner rather than later actually, and if it's got one then I can put that on, and then that means I can then nip the bumper up properly. I'm hoping the condenser comes today. We'll talk about the condenser in a bit, but I have ordered one, so I'm hoping that will come today. I had a bit of a panic yesterday when I finished, stopped filming, and the car was here, as you know, and I got in it, went to start it, battery was flat. I thought, oh, God. I know I'd had the ignition switched on when I was checking lights and stuff like that, but it started fine earlier on in the day. So I thought, oh, battery's flat, so I got my jump pack out, put that on. It was turning over fine using the jump pack, but it wasn't firing, it wasn't starting. Oh God. And I remembered that the last 2 or 3 times, well, when I first got it, it came up with fuel warning, low fuel, and each time I've started it, obviously it comes up with a low fuel warning. So I came to the conclusion, even though it has to run out at some point, I started it when it was sort of on the drive over there yesterday morning, and then it was parked here. It ran out of petrol. Whether it's because the car's on an incline here as well, I don't know, but yeah, last night I went down to the petrol station with a can, filled the can up, poured the can in. So again, I've swapped the battery out of Harold. Harold hasn't got a battery in at the moment, it's on charge. The one that was in this it's actually been charging overnight, so it's charged now. Yeah, put Harold's battery in here, started fine. So I had actually run out of petrol. Still, never mind, eh? So well, I have come to a decision on these seals. I'm going to leave them on. I'm going to stick that one back with Tiger Seal. I'm going to touch up the little bit of paint scratches on that one someone's done with their foot or something, I expect. But I think it looks, in this colour, with these black wheels as well, with the silver wheels on, I wasn't sure, but it looks a bit sportier with these black wheels on. So I think it works, and I think it looks good, and I just think I'm opening myself up for grief if I take them off for what I'm going to get for them. If they were podium blue, then it would be easier to sell them, but they're not, so someone who buys them would have to spray them unless they're going to put them on a car of this colour. So I don't think it's worth the hassle or the cost. And as someone mentioned on the channel last night, I could even break them taking them off. So they're staying on. I'm going to put the price up a little bit on this car. I did say to the fellow who came and looked at Marilyn that it was going to be 2.5. I think I'm going to put it up to 2,650. I think it's worth every penny when it's finished. So that's the few things that I've got to do today. So I don't think that that's going to come today. Well, I'm hoping it is. It might do. If it does, I can get it done. But apart from the condenser, everything else can be done on this car today, I think. And apart from the condenser, it will then be ready. Obviously, I haven't taken the car for a drive yet, so I don't know how it drives. And obviously, I need to know whether that exhaust is going to do that, which I won't know until I take it for a proper drive and go over speed bumps and stuff like that. If it does, then I think what I might do is take it down a quick fit or somewhere and say, look, I've put these new rubbers on, can you have a look? If you've got some other rubbers you can put on to make it more solid, please do so. If they charge me, I don't know, 20 quid, so be it. And coming back to profit on this car, when I got really excited at the beginning of this car, as you know, I said I think this is going to be my most profitable car yet. It's not. I have actually spent quite a lot of money on it, to be fair, even though all I've sold so far that I've taken off of it has been those smoked rear lights clusters. That's the only thing that I've sold, which I got 70 quid for. Everything else is still sitting in the garage. So most of the profit is going to come out of the parts that I've taken off. Obviously these wheels were free. The bumpers and the wing have cost me £350 for painting. The bumper itself cost me 60 something. The wing cost, I don't know, 50 something. And the back bumper was, I can't remember, 60 something. So it's cost me quite a bit. Seats are 150. It has cost me quite a bit in the parts that I've taken off to replace. So I'm actually not going to make that much money on the actual sale of the car. Hence why one of the reasons I'm knocking it up to 2,650, because I just want to make a little bit more. I'm not being greedy, because I'll go through the figures at some other time, but it is very, very minimal profit. If I sell it for 2.5 grand, I'm almost only breaking even. I'm not getting it MOT'd because the MOT doesn't run out till 7th of January next year, so it's pointless wasting money MOTing it. It's been serviced. The oil is oil colour. The filters are clean as a whistle, so it has been done. I haven't tracked down the service history yet. Obviously I'll do that. The only fly in the ointment I've got of this being ready very soon is I haven't got the logbook back. They're being very slow at the moment. I've got a feeling the DVLA have gone on some sort of strike. I've just had a look online and they haven't, the logbook hasn't been issued yet. They've had it over about 2 weeks today, I think it is, since I sent it. And they have been coming back really quickly recently, but not in this instance. The last one, which was Marilyn, I think took 3 or 4 weeks to come back. So that's the only thing that's going to hold me up on this. I think it's selling it, is because obviously I can't sell it until I've got the logbook back. But if I can have a drive around in it, so be it. And I know, you know, I've got a buyer for it already, so, or potential buyer already. He's probably going to have it. In fact, I need to message him tonight with an update. So anyway, that's where we are today. These are the things we're going to do. I'll film some of it. I'll time lapse some of it, and then hopefully by the end of the day we'll almost be there. So we'll see you in a sec. Right, a bit of an experiment. I'm going to try. They are absolutely rotten. I'm going to use some elbow grease on this. See how they come up. Actually, the whole thing needs a good clean. Just out of interest, actually, I've got a brush. Let that soak in for a minute. I bought an upholstery brush on oops, bang the door, on Amazon or eBay or somewhere. It was recommended, this brush. Let's have a look. It's called it's made by Viking, whoever they may be. Ergonomic shape, stiff bristles, loosen dirt and debris from carpet and upholstery, non-slip comfort grip. It was quite expensive actually for a little brush. It was like 12 quid, but it was recommended. I don't know if this is going to be any use doing this or not. That's particularly soiled there. I may have to end up getting the cleaning machine out anyway, but I thought I'd give it a go. Because as I say, the seats don't need it. It really grips well. We'll let that dry. I'll let that dry and see how it looks. I think I'm going to go over the rest of the door as well. It's absolutely rotten, this door card. Right, let that dry again and go around and do the other side. Yeah, don't know if you can see that, how well that's come up. Actually, I won't know properly until it's dry, but now look at that, it looks quite good, doesn't it? See what I mean? If it doesn't move at all, it's completely rock solid, that. Don't know why. So it might be the fact that the rods have just moved or something, I don't know, but I'm going to take that off. I've got to change the badge anyway, so I've got to take the carpet off. So we'll do that, I have got some spares of these, a couple of them, which I don't know whether they work or not, but once we've got it off we can plug one in and try it, I suppose. So let's set you up on time lapse while we do that. Trying to make a bit of room on here. I think what I'm going to do, I might actually, I'll see if I'm going to see if I've got one and just do a swap, see if I've got one that will work, and then I can try and repair this one at a later date. So I'm going to have a look in the garage, see one I've got that at least the handle's loose, and then I'm going to plug it in and just see if it works. So I've got this one. This is the one that Mr. Clutch gave me when they were clearing out. They found this one that they had lying around and said you might as well have it. So I don't know whether it's a good one or not. Probably not if it's been lying around, but the switch is free anyway. I'm just going to put a nut just to hold it loosely. Where's it gone? Don't want it moving around too much. I do. And then we can plug the electrical connection in and then we can try it, I suppose. Ooh, that seems hopeful, doesn't it? Yes, it works. Fantastic. That's really good. So it's me thinking that Mr. Clutch had given me something that I'd just be able to use for spare parts. Oh, I know what to do before I put it on properly. I want to see if those bulbs work on the lights, because it'll be easier to change those bulbs with it not on the car. So let's just try that. Oh, they both work as well. Amazing. Well, I wasn't expecting the bulbs to work as well. That's really good news. Pleased with that. So you couldn't actually see it then, could you? You have to take my word for it, but I'm sure you could, hopefully you could hear it. Yeah, it's really good. I'm really pleased about that. And I will have a go at fixing that other one. But for now, there's no need. I know I've had one in the past where it was free, like that one was, but you know, the micro switch, I mean, but it just didn't open the boot. So whether that was the hatch wire, and I can't remember which car that was now, but I never did get to the bottom of why. So right, let's do these up. That's really good. Thanks about that. So I have to do the other with a spanner because I can't get to it. Well, it's starting to warm up now. It was really cloudy this morning, and the cloud has broken now, and it's starting to get warm. I'm in full sun here. I should put some sun cream on my bald head, really. Sorry, a solar panel for a love machine. If people are walking down the street behind me, I think I'm mental talking to myself. Right, badge. I need to get this badge off, don't I? Right, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting these off, so I thought what I'd do is I'd cut them, because obviously this badge is going to go in the bin, isn't it? So I said if I cut those off, I want those bits to fall out, don't want them rattling around in there. That should now just pull off, he says. I need to get something under there. I know I shouldn't really be using a screwdriver, but there we go. That's it. So I had these plastic bits. Just where were they? Here. That just push in. But because it's a Duff badge, I thought I might as well just cut them off, and then it would just prise off. It is stuck on as well with a double-sided tape, but just a bit of encouragement and it came off. Right, I need to find a new one, or a second-hand decent one, and we'll put it on. it's a half decent. It's not a perfect badge, but it's not bad. It's not a bad condition one. So I wouldn't buy a new one. They're like 35 quid or something stupid. So of course when I break up cars, or if I've got boot lids that are no good, put a new boot on, I always take the badges off and keep them. And this is one such badge, so hopefully that will fit through those. You know what, I'm going to clean that up first. It's a bit manky, isn't it? So before I put that on, let's get this cleaned up. So what I've done, I discovered that the two prongs are actually, because it's a front badge, the two prongs are actually in a different place as well. So I've mixed up some 2-part resin glue, and I'm going to stick it on using that as well. A few blobs of that, just to make sure. And then we'll know it's going to stay put. This will take a little while to go off, this stuff, especially in the heat. Let's stick that on. I think that's on okay.
So due to the sound issues we had yesterday, which was going to be one video on its own, I've decided to put these bits now on the same video. So we've got a longer video for the midweek video. So we did carry on and do more stuff today, but that'll be coming on Saturday's video. So we'll end this one here. Thanks for watching, and the car is coming along great guns. There's lots to come for Saturday. You'll see a big improvement in the car come Saturday, and there'll be some stuff on there that will make you very, very happy, some of you. So until Saturday, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.